Alright, welcome back guys to another episode of Mysteries of Asia. Yes. Today we explore the story of Jerald Low, a Singaporean whose elaborate scams earned him the label of the country's own Tinder swindler. Ooh. From 2018 to 2020, Low deceived over 10 victims, friends, colleagues, and strangers. Even his friends, that's so messed up, man. Resulting in losses exceeding 150,000 Singapore dollars. This episode traces his criminal timeline, detailing how he exploited trust and falsified wealth, leading to his eventual arrest and sentencing. I've been watching a lot of con artist documentaries, like recently the Con Mum. Did you know that Con Mum was found in Singapore? Did you see the Netflix documentary, Con Mum?
Not
Basically,
really.
This mum who would pose as other people's like real birth mums. She would target like people who have been adopted or people who lost their mum. Then she'll just come into their life. Hey, I'm your mum.
Oh
yeah.
my.
Then she'll like fake her wealth and everything also. Then people will start giving her money. Yeah, she was caught in Singapore. Last caught, like just recently
But
only.
is she Singaporean?
She's not Singaporean.
But
I
she
think
was
she's
just
Indonesian
in
or
Singapore.
something. Yeah, she got caught in Singapore because the documentary got so famous that people started noticing her. But today we're talking about a Singaporean born and bred swindler, and he goes by the name of Jerald Low. Jerald Low was born in 1994 in Singapore. In a prison interview, he described a troubled childhood. His parents divorced when he was young, and he was raised by his mother and grandmother. He felt ostracized at school, bullied for not having a father present, which fostered deep insecurities. By his early 20s, these feelings drove him to create a false image of success, launching a spree of scams that unraveled in 2020. And here's how Jerald Low's scams unfolded. Based on victim accounts and police investigations from 2018 to 2020, it gets pretty wild. Early 2018, property scams. In early 2018, at just age 24, Low realized that he could issue checks to his own bank accounts to cause a temporary increase in his account balance, though he knew the checks would not clear. But he just wanted to show his ledger balance to flex to his peers around him. But he got ridiculously bolder in April 2018 when he stole his mother's checkbook and issued himself a check for $1 trillion. What the fuck? 1 trillion? Did he think that would pass? $1 trillion, eh? Even the richest man in the world doesn't have $1 trillion. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' net worth is not $1 trillion. What the hell, man? Maybe he added an extra zero. He didn't know what 1 billion or 1 billion was. He just spammed the zeros. And obviously, due to the abnormally large value, OCBC Bank made queries into his mother's account and denied the $1 trillion check. Later that year, Low would approach a property agent through a friend's introduction, where he took on the persona of a wealthy Korean man named Park Jun-hyung, who Oppa. His story was that he would soon inherit a large sum of money from his family. To play the part even more convincingly, he also dyed his hair to look more Korean. Maybe he was going for the BTS look, I don't know. Posing as a high-end buyer, he expressed interest in trophy properties, boasting a 20 million budget for a single purchase. During viewings, he would also make calls, pretending to speak with his banker to reinforce his story. So this guy, he needs a 红星大奖, man. Walao, fucking acting, bro. Right in front of the property agent, he would pretend to call his banker like, yep, yeah, can you transfer the $10 million from that deal I just made last week? So he would do things like that to, make sure his act is more convincing. His first target was a $5.5 million penthouse in Bishan. After a quick tour, he issued a $55,000 check, which is the 1% of the purchase price, securing an option to purchase, an OTP. This document gave him 14 days to finalize the deal. Over the next 3 days, he viewed 11 more properties in prime districts like Orchard Road, Cane Hill, and Grange Road, issuing checks ranging from $69,000 to a whopping $858,000 for the option to purchase, writing checks for more than $2 million even though he knew they would bounce. And obviously, the checks bounced because his bank account was empty. It had nothing in there, zilch, zero, kosong. It was because it was all an act. But the OTPs gave him tangible proof of ownership. Agents initially trusted him. His NRIC listed an HDB address, but his humble demeanor aligned with stories of unassuming wealthy buyers. Because a lot of the ultra rich, they just wear very unassuming clothes, like just plain t-shirt and maybe joggers or some shit, but they're actually filthy rich, super loaded. But when developers realized the funds didn't clear, Low would stall, claiming that his inheritance had delays. The deals eventually collapsed, leaving him with a stack of void option to purchase documents that he would later exploit. So even though they were voided, it was still, tangible proof that he owned property. Mid-2018, Fitness T. In mid-2018, Low reconnected with a secondary school classmate via Facebook. The classmate, part of a network marketing group, saw Low as quiet and untroublesome from their school days. Low pitched a bubble tea business called Fitness T, proposing a partnership. It was here that he started showing his voided option to purchase documents and photos of himself in condos, claiming wealth from his inheritance. So he probably took a lot of selfies and photos of himself when he went for the viewings of the house, right? To show that, oh, I have this house.
Yeah, to show off his wealth.
To show off his wealth, yeah. And to convince others that he has property, he owns the properties. Yeah. Wow. He convinced a classmate to register Fitness T with Accra, listing both their names, and to sign up for 6 telco lines for company use. Why the fuck would a company need 6 phone lines? Huh? One for each customer. What? I don't get it. Low took the latest model phones from signing the new lines, promising to configure them and pay bills via the company account. Instead, he sold the devices, leaving the classmate with a $10,000 termination penalty when the lines were cancelled weeks later. The check that Jerald promised as a vice president allowance for his classmate never arrived as well, and his excuses piled up until the classmate cut ties. This swindler. Yeah, and what a dick, imagine your old classmate just reach out to you on Facebook. Hey bro, I'm super rich, let's start a business together. You'll be so like, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's start a business. It's our time to shine. Let's dig myself out of this trench. But he dug a deeper trench for you. Late 2018, exploiting job seekers. In October 2018, Low posted a job advertisement for Fitness T. A 35-year-old woman seeking work for herself and her brother interviewed with Low, who posed as the CEO of Fitness T. She was hired as an official administrator and tasked with buying office supplies daily. Low then had her sign up for 5 telco lines, claiming they were for staff and inquiries, with bills to be covered by the company. And I think we all know where this is headed. He took the phones and sold them to pocket the money, racking up $6,000 in bills under her name within months. To make matters worse, just one day after they met, Low had proposed marriage to her, later on rushing her to the registry of marriages behind her family's back as well. And I think from what I read, this woman had a bit of bipolar disorder. Maybe she was a bit, mentally not stable, Like being proposed one day after they met. That's quite ridiculous. Who would accept that? Who would, Who would even consider that? Yeah, she had delusions. So I guess Jerald would prey on that. He would prey on weaknesses of people. And yeah, clearly this 35-year-old woman was unstable. But got them a proposal one day after they met. That's nuts, man. But thankfully, the 35-year-old woman's father intervened, forcing her to quit her job at Fitness T. The ordeal caused her to have a relapse of bipolar disorder as she experienced delusions of being in love. And it also left the family facing telco debts. And speaking of telco debts, it's quite popular back then. I remember it was quite a popular thing. People would get you to sign telco lines and then they will take the phones and sell. Then they just ask you, oh, don't pay the telco companies, Yeah. November 2018 to 2019, investment scams. On November 2018, Low met Sam, an alias, on a dating app called Grindr. Low drove Sam in rented cars, projecting wealth, and showed him a condo, claiming ownership via his option to purchase. He offered to sell it to him at a special price, securing a $4,000 deposit from Sam based on merely trust. Low also got Sam to sign up for more mobile line contracts and to invest in a private SGX fund. Sam then closed 2 of his own investment accounts, transferring funds to Low, and even borrowed from legal moneylenders at Low's urging to invest with him. Not long after, Jerald told Sam that he's leaving to go overseas, and he took Sam's bank card and token, promising to pay loan installments. But instead, he drained Sam's account, changed the PIN, and vanished without a trace, costing Sam $100,000. Sam then obviously reported him in 2019. So it's clear that Jerald is just going around leaving a trail of destruction. Whoever he meets, he would scam and he would leave that person in shambles. And yeah, I guess that's just the mindset and the modus operandi of a swindler. They'll just swindle anyone at every opportunity they get. But this was not Jerald Low's only victim. He met and got into relationships with other men through an online forum, similarly passing himself off as wealthy. He even got one of them to sign a dozen car sales agreements first, lying that he could pay for the vehicles later, but he never did. And now we move to 2020, where he filed 5 false police reports. This is about 2-3 years into his swindling spree. Eventually, Low met Desmond, 22 years old, through Grindr again, and they began dating. Low liked that he was a director and owner of another bubble tea franchise, R&B Tea. And this is the fucked up part, because Jerald knew that he was under investigation by the police and would be facing criminal charges soon, so he persuaded Desmond to take the fall for him. Basically, he persuaded Desmond to take all the blame, take the fall for him, and it's difficult for me to wrap my head around why Desmond would agree to that, to take on all the charges that Jerald was being charged with. I guess he was really in love, true love. In September 2020, Jerald filed a false police report claiming that he committed the offences on Desmond's instructions since 2018. He further alleged that Desmond had threatened to harm him and his family if he did not take sole responsibility, and said that Desmond had physically assaulted him many times, basically pinning everything, that all the crime and offences that Jerald did, he pinned it on Desmond, the guy who was most likely his boyfriend at that time, or at the very least dating, had a romantic interest in. Like, what? In March 2022, he then convinced Desmond to insert an element of sexual assault into their lives. Desmond, for some reason, complied. He told the police that Desmond had raped him more than 15 times. How and why anyone would falsely admit to this, I don't know. Like I said, he must have thought that they were really in love. On April 21st, 2022, Low finally admitted to lying about the sexual assaults. Desmond soon came clean about his lies as well that very day, and has been charged with obstructing justice, the arrest and sentencing. Even after the police was honing in on Jerald, he was still going on about with his usual shenanigans. In 2020, after being summoned to court, Jerald forged a medical MC to excuse himself from court. But the main reason was that his grandmother was ill and he just wanted to go look after her or to just see her. He, however, didn't tell that to his lawyer and just submitted the forged MC, to which his lawyer submitted it to court. So I guess it must have been quite a good forgery, because his lawyer didn't even know that it's a fake MC and he submitted it to court. Police would later ambush him at his HDB block during his mother's medical checkup, finding a cluttered unit with devices used to fake documents. Finally arrested in late 2020, Low faced 52 charges. In 2022, he was sentenced to 67 months in prison for losses exceeding $150,000 across 10 plus victims. Low's scams devastated lives. The classmate lost $10,000 and family's trust. The job seeker's family paid $6,000 in bills with her mental health suffering. Sam lost $100,000 and is facing debt collectors. Victims felt shame and helplessness, some taking months or even years to recover. Jerald attributed his actions to a need for respect, stemming from a childhood of being looked down on. He admitted not considering consequences, chasing a fleeting sense of worth through deceit. Jerald Low's scams, from property OTPs to telco fraud and fake investments, exploited trust with chilling precision. His 67-month sentence reflects justice, but the scars linger. And to that, please be very wary of snaky people. They are everywhere, and I've even encountered a few of them myself. There are some people out there who just live on taking advantage of other people, you know, leaving a trail of destruction behind them. And that's the story of Jerald Low. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon. Also, I'm selling a new Wealth Guru course. Please transfer $10,000 to me. It's 100% real. Link in the description. Sign up for my new course on how to... I don't know. I don't know. Just sign up for my course. Link in description. It's real. It's real.